John McCain was proud to be a straight talker.
I will not take the low road to the highest office in this land.
And straight talk is what he provided, even when some would argue it was not in his political interest.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues.
For 60 years, he served this country, repeatedly putting principle over party, working with John Kerry on Vietnam, sneaking in a little humor when he could.
Do you think the lady to your right would make a good president?
Oh, we can't hear you, Tim. We can't hear you.
You're breaking up. Yeah, I am sure that Senator Clinton would make a good president.
The night in 2008 when he lost the presidency to Barack Obama.
I had the honor of calling Senator Barack Obama to congratulate him. Please.
His love of country trumped his disappointment in defeat.
I urge all Americans who supported me to join me in not just congratulating him, but offering our next president our goodwill and earnest effort to find ways to come together.
Last year, in the midst of his brain cancer treatment, he returned to the Senate, upending President Trump's attempt to repeal health care. His colleagues respected him, even as he scolded them.
Stop listening to the bombastic loudmouths on the radio and television and the internet. To hell with them. We're getting nothing done, my friends. We're getting nothing done.
Senator McCain was the first to say he wasn't a perfect man, but he strived to be a decent one, tested in ways most of us will never be. Now, with truth and honor in woeful short supply, his passing is reverberating deeply across the country.
I believe in America. I believe in its people. I am not a pessimist about the future. I still think we're still a shining city on a hill.
His death a reminder to each of us of just how powerful integrity can be. Cynthia McFadden, NBC News, New York.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.